A breakthrough diplomatic handshake in Washington might clear the political gridlock with Tehran, but it cannot fix the trillion-dollar physical trap waiting in the Strait of Hormuz. Hello and welcome to NewsX. I'm Kashish Dhawan. The Strait of Hormuz is once again at the center of global panic. It is narrow, it is heavily militarized, and it is one of the most important energy corridors on the planet. A major share of world's oil, liquefied natural gas, fertilizer shipments, and refined fuel supplies move through this single route between Iran and Oman. Now, with the possibility of a possible US-Iran understanding, the obvious question right now is, if a deal happens, does that mean the crisis ends instantly? The answer, it's no. Because the Hormuz crisis is not just a diplomatic problem, it is a shipping problem, an insurance problem, a production problem, and a confidence problem. And those do not disappear the moment leaders shake hands. Now, the first on this is to look at the traffic. In normal times, around 100 cargo carrying vessels move through the Strait of Hormuz every day. But during the crisis, that number has collapsed. According to shipping and commodity tracking data cited in reports, only a handful of ships have been crossing each day. Now, some vessels may enter, some may exit, and the markets may briefly celebrate the optics of reopening. But for ship owners, that is not enough. Their real question is simple. Can they send a vessel, cargo and crew through Hormuz without facing missiles, drones, mines, sudden restrictions or massive insurance premiums? And that is why shipping firms, they stay hesitant. A limited number of successful crossings does not automatically restore regular service. Carriers, insurers and vessel operators, they need long-term confidence that the route will stay safe. Not just for one day, but for weeks and for months. Now, second on this is the insurance. It is a major roadblock. When a waterway becomes a conflict zone, shipping insurance, it becomes expensive, complicated and sometimes unavailable. And even if the strait, it is technically open, many firms, they may still refuse to send vessels unless the risk premium drops. And insurers will not lower that risk overnight. They will wait for the proof that security situation over there has changed permanently. And this is where the peace deal problem begins. A US-Iran agreement may reduce political tension, but it may not immediately settle the rules of passage. Will ships move freely? Will there be tolls? Will some vessels get preferential treatment? Will naval escorts be available? Or will Iran continue to control certain transit routes? These all details matter. If Hormuz becomes a multi-tier passage where some ships move freely, some pay extra and some face restrictions, then the crisis does not really end, let me tell you. Because for oil traders, gas buyers and shipping companies, uncertainty is enough to keep prices, freight rates and insurance costs under pressure. Now, third over here is hundreds of ships and thousands of seafarers have already been affected. Several containers, ships, tankers and commercial vessels have been trapped inside the Gulf. Some ships are carrying food, goods and energy products have not been able to leave normally. Now, this creates a backlog. Even if the strait opens, the trapped vessels, they do not magically clear out in one smooth line. There is going to be a scheduling chaos, port congestion, crew issues, delayed cargoes and rerouting complications. And leading us to fourth. This is not just about moving ships. It is also about restarting energy flows. During the crisis, large volumes of oil production went offline because export outlets were blocked or restricted. Now, restarting oil fields, it is not like flipping a switch. Producers need ships to return, storage tanks to clear, export terminals to stabilize and damaged infrastructure to get repaired. While some experts, they are believing that restoration may take weeks or even months depending on damage, security guarantees and how quickly tankers can return. And in places like Iraq and Kuwait, there are also concerns about how prolonged disruptions may affect reservoirs and production systems. Leading us to the fifth pointer. Inventories, they are already under pressure. For months, countries and companies have been drawing down stored oil, gas, refined products, diesel, jet fuel, and other critical supplies. Usually, global inventories and spare capacity act like shock absorbers. But in this situation right now, many of those buffers have already been used. And much of world's spare capacity is located in the same region that depends on Strait of Hormuz. That means prices can remain high even after a ceasefire or an interim deal. Now you may ask why? Because the market will not only price peace, it is going to price risk, delay, shortage, insurance and replacement cost. So the key point over here is the war may pause before the crisis ends. A peace deal may calm headlines. It may cool oil futures for a few days. It may allow a symbolic reopening of the strait. But the physical energy system moves slower than the political news cycle. Ships, they need confidence. Insurers, they need proof. Producers, they need time. Inventories need rebuilding. And market needs clarity. And that is why the Strait of Hormuz may reopen on paper much before it returns to normal in practice. For the world, the real test is not whether a few ships can cross. The real test is whether regular, predictable and safe energy flows can resume without fear, without restrictions and without another sudden shock. And until that happens, the Hormuz crisis may outlast the war itself. Thank you for watching.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.